Romantic drama, all-star cast, Shailene Woodley, Sebastian Stan and Jamie Dornan. Jamie joins us now. Good morning, Jamie.
Morning, Dermot. How are you?
Hey, how you doing? You all right?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, good to hear your voice.
Yeah, you too. That's a nice thing to say. Not many people ring in and say that. Normally they're like, just play the request, will you? Jamie, well, would you be up now quite a couple of hours? You've got some young children. Are you kind of a 6 o'clocker, or what's happening in the Dornan household?
Yeah, definitely. Today's one of those days where I feel like we have about 17 kids rather than 3.
Yeah.
It depends. But our youngest, the 1.5-year-old's kind of, I think she was up at 5:30 today. But my wife did the morning shift, so I got to lie until 7 today.
Isn't it funny? I've got a 7-week-old now. And your life just turns on a sixpence. You go, if you sleep into 7, you go, that is a result.
Oh, completely. Yeah, I mean, anything. And then you'll find you can't lie in even if you have a night away for the kids. The lie-ins are done.
I always remember my friends when we go away, and they go, "Yeah, no, I was up at 6 anyway." And you look at them and go, "You're an absolute loser. There's no way that happened to me." And now I know that's completely exactly what it's like.
I know.
So this is it's extraordinary film, really. I watched it this week. It's Endings, Beginnings is the name of it. It's kind of romantic. It's a 3-part romantic drama, and between two best friends and Shailene Woodley, who plays a kind of a girl who's sort of going through I guess some times of self-analysis, and I guess she's at a crossroad herself, and it's all improv. Is that right?
Yeah, primarily. I mean, there was kind of like a 65, 70-page script maybe that was kind of just some suggested dialogue in there, but mostly just like a structure of a loose structure of story, and then now and again it would say, my character Jack, it would say Jack pontificates about why the world is like this, and then that's up to me to provide Jack's view of why the world's like that. So it'd sometimes be suggested dialogue. It might have like one line, and then the first couple of takes you'll sort of stick to that line because you're terrified of doing anything else. And then the director will come and say, right, scrap all that. Just do what you want. Oh, I liked when you said this. Let's go down that path. And
right.
Then, you're freestyling. It's actually terrifying.
Yeah. No, I read when you the night before you started, you're sort of like 50-50 because you were so excited about working with the people, and yet you wanted to run for the hills because like you said, you had this 65 pages of suggested dialogue, but then when you stuck to it, and the director Drake would come up to you and say, "Listen, just don't worry about that," and you go, "What do you mean, don't worry about it? Those are my lines."
Well, totally. I mean, it was even worse. It wasn't even the night before. It was the first night I started because Shailene and Sebastian they'd already done like a week of it or 10 days.
Yeah.
So they were kind of in the groove with it, and I'd been filming something else, so I had a bit of a crossover, so I couldn't start the first week. So I was coming into it premised when everyone else was sort of settled into this pattern of working that way. It was pure terror because in my whole career, you're sort of married to the script, and that's everything, and that's your comfort that you have to fall on. So when that's taken away from you, it's pure terror.
Oh man, it's like the opposite to my world. That's just wonderful. Right. Yeah. And was that what appealed to you about taking the part in the first place? Yeah,
I mean, I'd done a wee bit of improv before, but very small doses of it in scattered over sort of years, really. And I had, Drake Doremus is one of those directors that, if people aren't familiar with his work, they should check out. I mean, the first feature movie he made was called Like Crazy with Felicity Jones and Anton Yelchin, Jennifer Lawrence. It's an incredible piece of work. And I did a beautiful movie called Breathe In again with Felicity. And I've met a lot of the actors he's worked with, and they all just wax lyrical about what that experience is like, because he sort of always makes his movies in the same way. And then Drake and I we did like a commercial thing together for Hugo Boss about two years ago, and we just got on great. And basically, he had sort of said that he was developing this story, so I'd been talking to him about it for quite a while before. So I sort of knew that I was going to be doing it.
Going for a while, yeah.
And I was sort of very excited the idea of working with him on something a bit more substantial. So I know I loved it.
It's a great three-header, and in the middle of this is Shailene Woodley, and I've loved her since The Descendants. She's extraordinary, isn't she?
Oh, she's incredible, mate. Like she really is. She's also the maddest part about Shailene's journey with this is that there was another actress attached who was, fully on board, and then she had a scheduling situation where it crossed over with something else, and she pulled out 2 weeks before, or 3 weeks before, and I've spoken to that actress, and it wasn't an easy decision. It was actually out of her control.
Yeah.
So she came into it, I honestly think 10 or 11 days before we started shooting. And there's not a frame of the movie got in,
Yeah.
And she has to carry all that, and fair play. I mean, it was incredible what she did.
Okay, more from Jamie in just a tick. One of Jamie Dornan's workout songs. Is that right, Jamie?
Well, yeah. I mean, no one sits still to ABBA, did
True. But the thing is, when I heard it, I was like, really? And then playing it, I'm like, okay. I wouldn't do heavy weights with it, but it's definitely good for HIT class.
Yeah, it's
You
true.
nail a hit class with that.
Yeah, no, a mate of mine suggested that recently. He said, he's like, I've been working out a lot to musicals recently, and I thought, right, okay. And then I thought, I didn't think it was something I would try myself, and I did it, and it turns out it's quite fun.
Oh, you can't not work out to musicals now. Oh, my running playlist is, I've got so much Barbra Streisand in my running playlist, and let me I can't
brilliant.
tell you. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Ronstein. So listen, you're on Talking About Endings, Beginnings, which is out on the 7th of August. Hang on, that's now, isn't it? Yeah, that's happened. But you've also got coming up, you're playing Dr. Death and you've been the Trolls World Tour. I mean, you wanted a diverse body of work. You've got it, buddy.
Well, but I think that's one of the luxuries of being an actor, is getting to dive into all these different worlds, and I'm lucky to have a wee bit of time with what I do, and the choice to do Trolls was not really my choice. It was kind of my kids drove that decision.
Yeah.
But I tried to make that happen. I haven't done a lot of work that they could see.
Yeah.
So
hey, watch The Fall. You're going to really enjoy it.
You know what? Yeah, kids, sit down. Come on, movie night. So that was definitely one for them, but great experience.
And with Dr. Death, have you started recording that yet, or was that?
Yeah, we were like 3 days off starting shooting that when the pandemic sort of really took force. We were out in New York, so everything's really up in the air at the moment. I've started filming something else this week, but I don't really think I'm allowed to talk about it yet.
Okay.
But so it's exciting. It's strange to be filming in a kind of COVID world, but we're working it out.
So with is that a mini-series you're going to do with Dr. Death?
Yeah, it's like I think it's eight parts
for HBO.
For Peacock, which is NBC Universal's new streaming platform.
Great. And in terms of lockdown, before I let you go, you've sort of fully embraced the good life kind of atmosphere of animals, vegetables, eggs. How's that going?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we live out in the Cotswolds in Gloucestershire, so it's, that's kind of our existence here anyway. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we don't do a lot here anyway. Even in a non-pandemic world. So it's keeping those guys going. We probably get about 4 or 5 eggs out of the chickens every day.
Nice.
I've got a couple of goats who at times aren't my favorite members of the household.
Why so? Because of what they eat?
No, they keep escaping out of on a funny field that we have. It's the kind of reason we have them. We have odds deep, and you can't get a lawnmower on it or anything. So we've got these goats just to keep the grass in control, but they just desperate to escape every day. So we had them on the roof, don't we? The guys every day. I'm not that happy with the goats.
And Jamie, what's your egg game like? How does it work? Do you we used to live around the corner from this guy that sold eggs, and he just used to swear that he fed them corn, and that's why the yolks were so lovely. What do you feed them to get a good egg?
Yeah, there's a corn element to it. Yeah, definitely. That's their sort of that's part of their sort of snacking bowl thing.
Yeah.
Is all this sort of dried corn, and I don't know, God knows what else is in there.
You got a secret to good eggs?
Not right. We have the sort of food disposal bags that we all the sort of cut-offs and stuff that doesn't get finished by us. They end up, obviously excluding meat. They we go down with them. It's become a ritual for our 1-year-old now to go down and feed the chickens with all the sort of old lettuce and broccoli and stuff. So,
Nice.
that seems to do them well.
And somehow with 3 kids, you've managed to do a bit of writing during lockdown. Anything? Have you what scripts or books?
Yeah,
or what?
no, I did. I wrote a sort of pilot at the beginning of lockdown, and then was sort of starting to redraft it, and then noticed there was an advert on TV for a show that was almost the exact same premise.
Oh, no.
Pilot that I wrote. So I gave up on that, and then my mate and I wrote a movie, which we only a couple of people read. We've got so we're actually, funnily enough, yesterday we sent it out to our first choice director. So we'll see what happens with that. It's hard to get movies made, but
Sure. Just hope there's not another similar story out there. It's about a wizard and he lives under a stairs.
I was like 28.
Jamie, really nice talking to you, mate.
And you, mate.
Have a good weekend. Take care.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye, mate. Bye.
Jamie Dornan, Endings Beginnings, out on all digital platforms, iTunes, Amazon, Sky.